Coming at you live from DNHQ in beautiful South Pasadena, California. This is the Blue Heaven Podcast. Bought myself a little time because I lost where the button is, even though I've been doing this 1,000 million years. What's going on, Dodgers Nation? My name is Clint. You can find me as RealFRG on Twitter and Instagram.
Look at that. You're professional. You're ready to go. You weren't ready to go, but then you found your way and you made it through.
You're wearing your new hat.
I am. I remember it this time. You know, when you have the
we're
same...
going to lose now.
When you wear the same hat for 10 years, it's hard to not grab it on the way out of your house, you know?
That's fair.
Who among you has a hat that's 10 years old and still living? I do. Guys, my name is Brooke. You can find me at BrookeMe3 on Twitter and Instagram. On today's show, well, I guess we're wild card boys now. I think we kind of leaned into it now. I think we're accepting of our fate.
Yeah, I mean, I've been accepting it.
Yeah, I've been in denial for many a month.
Yeah. Well, I mean, years.
Many a year. I'm still in denial.
This denial runs
We still
deep.
might win the division.
We're going to look a little bit around the league. I really wanted to talk about like the AL wild card because it's kind of fun, but we probably won't do that unless we do. It'll be organic.
Let it happen organically.
Yeah. We are going to set a winning roster for your Los Angeles Dodgers in that wild card game and hopefully knock on desk beyond. It's the final week preview. We got 6 more games, and we're definitely not doing a show on Thursday unless something really big happens. So we'll talk about that and see whether or not there is still a path to a 9th consecutive division title for your Los Angeles Dodgers. Before we get into the show, we got to remind you this is a podcast, so if you want to subscribe to us there, that'd be cool. We're on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all your spots. Podcasts are available free. We live there. Leave us a review. However many stars is the most, you give us those. I don't know what these hand gestures are. It's very peculiar, but
It's offsides.
Because go Birds.
Yep.
I got you. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. You'll be glad you did.
Is there a bell there?
Yeah, it's on the TV.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Guys, don't forget, this is a live stream. We do this every Monday night. We just, we don't ever stop. We're like the post office or whatever. Rain, hail, the rest of the weather. I'm from California. I don't know if we don't have weather.
Whether rain nor sleet nor falling ceiling.
But we do have that.
Yeah.
But we are live. We're here every Monday night. Make sure you drop it in the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from because we want to talk to you guys. I like hearing from y'all. I saw Leslie earlier in the stream. I don't have the chat open on my side of it, but Leslie's leaning into the wild card.
It's, that's just the way it's going to have to be. Grumpy 45 Dino on YouTube says, with no baseball tonight, this helps a lot. That's what we think. So does the beer. Beer helps.
I like no baseball, yeah.
Shaded Kelly on Facebook says, so we lost the division, didn't we? I mean, I would say a lot needs to go right. The Dodgers have done enough.
Is this the acceptance show?
This is the acceptance show. This is, the acceptance show. That's what we're going to say. Things have been worse, and et cetera, Anthony Keene in the stream saying, happy Monday, my dudes, from YouTube. He feels so dirty. Yes, programming note, Periscope. The funny thing is, didn't I mention this? I did mention it last Monday, right?
Yeah, but we've been talking about Periscope dying for a year now. And
Periscope
it just never
said
did.
it was going to be done at the end of March, and then it just kept on trucking along.
They were like, we can't do it yet.
But Periscope is dead. Rest in peace. We got a good year out of Periscope, the platform, but it was old and very outdated. So we're still on Twitter, but you can't comment there. So you're going to want to go, your best spot's probably going to be YouTube. All your comments pop up there nicely. So we'd appreciate it if you guys just mosey on over there. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button. We'd appreciate it.
It's just a real tricky way to get people to subscribe to things,
Yeah,
that's
the whole plan.
That's what Twitter's up to.
I killed an entire platform.
Thank you, guys. Kristen on Facebook is checking in from Australia, which I think is Australia. That's another Australian.
Spanish for beer.
Yeah, that's what
Australia, right? That's what you said.
Not Estrella. So Mr. and Mr. Worldwide back at it again. We got a lot of Australians in our stream. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why we're so popular down there, but
Mr. and Mr. Down Under.
Good day. I don't know. Good night. What time is it?
Is this our Thunder from Down Under show?
I am Thunder. This is Down Under.
I think we're also live on our on the Blue Heaven at Blue Heaven Pod Twitter. By the way, I gotta see that one. Richard Cordova says keep Bellinger away from the lineup, please. No problem. He's on the injured list.
Oh, Kristen's from California. Dang it. That's
Same
all right.
difference.
Still counts. You're over there. That counts.
So we don't have too much about the nitty gritty of players and injury updates and all that. Bellinger is probably the big name that's on the IL right now. He's eligible to come off on Tuesday. It looks like there's a little bit of difference of opinion there. Cody speaking like he kind of expected to come off on Tuesday. Dave is saying quite otherwise. What do you think is going to happen? When does the smart play?
I think that Cody thinks he's
always
good to go, and Doc is like, I hope he's not good for the playoffs. I think there's a little bit of that going on, even if no one will ever say that or admit to that. But the Dodgers are much better without Cody Bellinger in this lineup, and that is a tough pill to swallow. No, it's not. It's not really. I don't care.
He's a big-time caring boy. Cuban Curve says wild card for sure. Jose Rod from the 714 in the stream. We got others. Oh, Straya, I see. Yeah, there's a Kristen from Straya. Right there.
Yeah, but then she said she's from California.
I'm very confused. When do these things happen?
You don't pay attention to comments?
No, sometimes.
I read them all, guys.
Dwayne Hill says never count Dodger Blue out yet. There's hope. There's realism. Throw them all together, but see what we have. Boom, something about the facts of life. Something like that. Yeah. The Cuban Curve says we out here struggling, man. Yep. Alex asking if we've given up, even though it's not set in stone.
He's been given up.
Up.
I haven't quite given up. Still think that there's hope. The Giants will have to lose 2 games this week, though, and that's a big ol' ask of any team, let alone 2 very, very bad teams, and one team that is now officially given up because they're out of the playoffs. So the Padres really have a lot of authority this week, and that is a bummer because they're going to come out swinging against the Dodgers this week and then sit everybody over the weekend. That's the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way San Diego crumbles. Surprised Hingle McTingleberry hasn't been fired yet, by the way.
I think he'll be fired after this series.
Would have been a great call for them to fire him the day that they got knocked out of the playoffs.
That would have been definitely the smart play. But I think he'll get bounced. I'm doing sensual baseball here. He'll get bounced after a Dodger either series win or a sweep. I think that's how it's going to go. Mm-hmm. Or they're going to try to be nice and let him go in the offseason. But that's coward. That's coward crap.
Weak.
Roach is in the stream. He says, hello, Brooketh and Clinteth. Those aren't our legal names. Sir, please report yourself to the local authorities.
They don't have police out there.
Well, George says, bring on the Redbirds. Yeah, so let's jump right into it here. It's going to be big-time wild card boys, huh? Let's come to this.
The wild card's not a real playoff, right?
No, it is now.
No, but it's like game 163 pretty much.
Yeah. They changed some things around with that whole second wild card with the what is it? The day to remember De Beers thing that happened in 2012. It was a big day, and then baseball was like, "Hey, a whole bunch of people are watching us. Let's go ahead and just make that pretend thing happen every year." So before a wild card would play the the high card or the highest best record in each respective league, but now not so much anymore. You play a second wild card. It's kind of whack. It's kind of weak. Either way, the Dodgers would have the wild card. They have a big ass lead in the over the second team, but this is where we're at. We got the wild card. It is what it is. I would argue that they've done everything they can here in the second half and in the month of September. It just wasn't good enough to beat a team that absolutely sold its soul. Dodgers in the second half are 44-21. That is a .677 winning percentage. 16-7 in September. Not the best. Not the worst.
Not bad. Not bad at all. That's a good month.
That's a good month.
It's a good month.
But Giants.
The Giants just won't effing stop winning baseball games, dude. I mean, no matter what, you look at anytime a Dodger game ends first and the Dodgers win or the Dodgers lose, whatever it might be, you look at the Giants score and you're like, they're down 2, they're down 3 or whatever, and you're like, they're going to win, aren't they? They're just going to find a way. Brandon Belt's going to check swing home run every single time. Crap. Rest in peace, his thumb.
We'll get to Brandon Belt. We'll get to the Giants news later in the show. So stick around.
That's something that we talked about we've talked about with a lot of different people now. We talked about it with Mr. Houston Mitchell over there. We're like, hey, is this one of the worst 100 plus win teams of all time? And it's like, it feels that way because you got a team that should be at the top. You look at everything that they're doing, despite all the injuries, despite all of the off the field issues and distractions and things like that. This team has still played very good baseball in the second half, but so have the Giants, and that's all it comes down to. And that kind of sucks. Kind of really sucks.
Giants in the second half are just a hair short of the Dodgers. They are 45-22, so there is a 1-win, 1-loss difference. That's how close these two teams have been. It was expected from the Dodgers, wholly unexpected from the Giants, and that's the way it be. And the funny thing is, it just feels like every other team failed so hard as part of the Giants selling their soul.
Yeah,
to get to this
that was
division.
part of the deal with the Devil.
Yeah. It's like Colorado. Oh, they're so good at home. What happened?
Badly.
Got double swept in September.
Badly.
It was ugly. And then they're like, "You're welcome, Giants."
Yeah.
Social media team, spot on. But,
Arizona being like, good job adding them directly and things like that. Where it's just like, you guys are in the NL West. What is the point of this? Like, what are you accomplishing here? Are you still mad about the pool party? Like, what's going on here?
And then Padres, scream at each other and still are fighting for their lives to maybe finish over 500. 78 right now. Not a good team. A lot of.
Do you think there's anything to that for the Padres? Like, is there any of that will to live? Is there any of that, like, let's keep playing our players and get, finish with a decent record? I mean, maybe on Jace Tingler's part, maybe he's like, I got to win.
I don't know. I don't feel like they're a team filled with dignity and over respect for the game. I think the Padres' only concern, and I don't know what the record was head to head throughout the year. I don't have it in front of me, but I feel like their only concern was trying to beat the Dodgers.
And they can do it 3 more times if they want to try.
On that note, it's time for a little sidebar, the Laugh Factory. Let's dig more in on those Padres. So I would say there are 2 teams, as I completely derail everything, there are 2 teams that horribly, horribly failed this season, and that is the Lowell Mets and the Sadres. San Diego Padres. All that hype for a drop of blood. It's embarrassing. It's bad, and each team can argue injuries. Starting staff for both teams was pretty significantly derailed by injuries. But the Dodgers lost Kershaw. They lost that other guy, and they also lost Dustin May hella early in the season. And they still found a way to survive. With names you've never heard of, like a Phil F. Bickford and an Alex Whatsavesia. And, you mix in just so
Hall
many
of Famer
other...
Evan Phillips and Nate Jones.
Nate Jones in the mix. Brewstar was gone for most of the season.
Victor Gonzalez is bad.
Victor is in the minor leagues and probably... definitely will not be on a postseason roster this year, and is as important as he was last year.
Gavin Lux was garbage to start the year,
and now he's starting center fielder.
I told you.
I love baseball.
You remember when I said that he would be a top 5 second baseman in all of baseball? I meant that he would be a top 5 second baseman playing center field in the last month of the year. That's what I meant to say, and that turns out to be accurate. So you're welcome, everybody. You are welcome.
So. Yeah, in all likelihood, both teams are going to finish under 500.
Jonathan said Luke the Nuke Rayleigh, another guy that was not supposed to start more than maybe 1 game as a spot starter and has far too many starts.
And, it's what the Dodgers do. They find bodies. They find human entities that just get things done. Even Shane Green was like borderline serviceable at times. Neftali Feliz somehow coming back to the abusive relationship.
And they got boned.
like 2 or 3 times. Very weird. But getting back a little bit, that kind of mixes into what we were talking about earlier. So our boy Roach asked me a question. He hit me up in the DMs, slipped in the old DMs today, and he said...
a little DM sled. He hit me on there, too.
Did you get the same question?
Yeah.
Probably.
I said whatever Clint said, the opposite of that.
Wow. Yep. This is real racist. Well, we're going to talk about it here on the stream. So... obviously, a lot of Dodger fans right now feel like the Dodgers were bad. Like this was not a good season because we, in the communist sense, are in second place behind an upstart. You could not have scripted this any better or different Giants team. Well, Roach asked if it was the other way around. If we swap San Diego and San Francisco in the standings, San Diego has 102 wins. San Francisco's the 500 teams, and the Dodgers remain 2 games behind San Diego. Sir, do you think the fans would still be saying this year's a disappointment for the Dodgers, or would they, or would they be more accepting this wild card, situation?
I think the question is more,
Padres were expected.
Right. Is it a matter of were you expecting the Giants to be this good? Is that the issue? Or was it a matter of like you just expected the Dodgers to be better than everybody? It comes down to that. And I think the short answer is that we expected the Dodgers to be better than anybody, regardless of who it was that finished in first place, regardless of which team
regardless of how good they are.
It hurts a little more that it's the Giants instead of the Padres for a big reason, and that's because obviously there's an established rivalry that's been there forever and ever and ever. The Giants were not supposed to be this good, and so we didn't really expect it. And I think even people who are like, if it's ridiculous that you didn't see this coming, you're clearly not a baseball fan. I'm like, no, you look at any aspect of those Giants and there was nothing in there that said that they were going to have a good year. All of the projections, all of the models, nothing said that they were going to have a decent season, let alone a playoff season, let alone finishing with 103 plus wins or whatever they end up doing, 104, 105, whatever it ends up being. Nothing had that. Nobody had that. So because of that, I argued that it would not matter if it was the Padres. I almost think it would be more disappointing if it was the Padres because we hate the Padres.
Yeah, my response to him, my argument was, and it was like a half-pitched argument because I was like busy and got distracted, and I think I responded halfway, like half, and then walked away. And anyways, I think the argument instead would have been the Dodgers didn't do enough to win the division. Andrew Friedman should be fired because he let the Padres be good. Because we all know that fan. Again, Giants, wholly unexpected. They made some moves to be able to sell off some assets at the All-Star break or at the trade deadline. The same thing they did in 2020 until the world ended with COVIDs. This year, they did the same move, and all these players turned out to put up some of the best years they've ever done in their lives. You go back to July, they would have probably strongly preferred a way to trade away a Brandon Belt, Brandon Crawford, and hopefully an okay Kevin Gausman and Alex Wood and all these people. But instead, they decided to put up really good years, just figure out ways to make things happen. I mean, even early in the season, the Giants' bullpen was absolute trash, and they found a way to just keep winning games, doing some magic, pinch hit, walk-off hits and all that. And, they just played really, really good baseball. I wouldn't say it's anything to do with the management or anything. I would say, again, it's because they sold their soul. But, yeah, that's how I feel about it. If the Padres were the better team, the Dodgers would not have done enough. Even if they did all the same exact move. You go out and sign Bauer, and then you lose him, and then you go and pick up a Max Scherzer and all that. Still wouldn't have been enough for Dodger fans because spoiled.
Oh, it's never enough, no matter what you do. That's why Dodger fans hate Dave Roberts so much. I'm like, you look at everything that he's done through the years, you look at what all of his players say about him, you look at every single aspect. One of the winningest managers of baseball right now, and it's going to stand for a little bit because he's still going to have a good team for a long time. Dodgers fans want him fired every single day. Dodgers fans want him fired the first week out of the World Series win. I don't know how that works, but it still manages to work somehow. And the excuse is always, funny enough, well, he has a really talented team. And I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of talented teams. There have been a lot of talented teams for a very long time. The Dodgers actually have had a lot of talented teams for a very long time. What happened then? Nothing. Nothing at all. We got managed by Joe Torre and Donnie Baseball.
Oh, rip us back in those days. So with that, again, the Dodgers are going to be the wild card. Second time in franchise history. Last one, 2006. Didn't go all that well in 2006. We could throw back and think, I can still see the visions of Jeff Kent up J.D. Drew's ass, sliding into home, sliding into Paul LaDuca's glove. But it's not all doom and gloom with the wild card. There have been 7 wild card World Series winners or World Series winners out of the wild card berth. Most recently, them 2019 Nationals. Usually it comes with a team that kind of just fully clothed streaked its way into the postseason. You
remember 02 was 2 wild card teams.
Yeah, it was Giants and the Angels. Angels won it. 97 Marlins, 02 Angels, 03 Marlins, 04 Red Sox, 11 Cardinals, 14 Giants, and the 19 Nationals. And these are some pretty is important teams. These teams, we look back, we kind of remember a lot of those World Series more than who won 07. I think it was the Red Sox.
I don't know.
08, I think, was Phillies. 09, we have no choice but to remember because they always talk about the Yankees.
The Yankees.
Yeah.
Notably, these are all teams that kind of just rode the wave into the playoffs. Yeah. All of them. The Nationals in 2019 were absolutely riding a wave. I think but at some point during that year, they were probably going to be sellers at the deadline and rode a wave into October and dominated through the Dodgers because the Dodgers were not playing up to their potential whatsoever. Same thing with the 11 Cardinals. Same thing with the 14 Giants. Same thing with the
11 Cardinals won 83 games.
Yeah.
2011 Cardinals won 83 games.
0-2 Angels, same thing. Terrible start.
Didn't they open the season like 1-20 or something ridiculous?
Absolutely garbage. And then just rode that wave all the way through into October and dominated along the way. Took out really bad teams along the way. But they beat the Yankees, so I like that.
It's not all doom and gloom as a wild card team. It's just not what we're used to. Sure, there's something cool about being able to say, hey, we're a team that rattled off 14, 15 divisions in a row. It didn't do shit for the Braves. Didn't do shit for the Yankees. I mean, Yankees, they got 4 of those or whatever. But
who cares?
Yeah. Dodgers got 8. That's cool. And we got to enjoy them. And you know what? They still have a playoff berth. And they have now a 1-game sudden death playoff ahead of them.
I love that we might talk about all this and they might still win the division. I'm still holding out hope. There's always hope. Brandon Belt is dead.
That's what you're saying. You're just...
The captain goes down with his ship. Because he's a captain, apparently.
Still more. Or do you want to talk about the Giants now? Do you want to talk about them exploding now?
I don't even like anybody, so I don't care.
All right, we're going to talk instead about who we're going to play. Didn't look like it was going to be this way for maybe like a hair of a minute, and then it became very real, and then it became
scary,
otherworldly scary real because they have rattled off 16 wins in a row. But it's going to be Cardinals at Dodgers. NL wildcard games going to be Wednesday, October 6th. It is on TBS at Dodger Stadium. Time still to be determined. And, of course, we are playing our softball playoffs that day, so that's cool. We're going to have to figure that one out.
I'll have a TV at shortstop.
I did that.
You guys know what's happening.
You know what's bad in the 2019 postseason. I brought a TV to the ballpark, and then Kershaw happened.
I was watching the game in the outfield the other week. I had my glove, my
Is that the time you got hit in the balls?
Maybe. No, I got no balls hit to me that time. I was just standing there.
No, it's like got hit in the balls.
Yeah, but no balls came to me. I was just standing there watching.
Phrasing.
Yeah.
Again, there's reason to be concerned with these Cardinals. They are the hottest team in baseball right now. They've won 16 in a row.
16 in a row.
Even with that, Cardinals altogether, very middling offense. I think they're only like not even 50 game run or 50 run.
No, like plus 30.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. They've also had some struggles with their starting rotation throughout a lot of the year. The thing that frightens me, and it frightens some a good amount, is that's probably a Waino game. Adam Wainwright owned the Dodgers in his last start against them.
And he shouldn't.
He should
He's
not. Old. Shouldn't happen.
He's so old.
Mr. Cat says Doug has a more positive attitude towards this. We're all doom and gloom. No, we are realistic. Doug was, post-gaming.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Cat. Life is hard, all right? It'll hit you. You got to keep getting back up, Mr. Cat, all right?
Meow. Tony Gonsolin, friend of the show on the stream.
Thank you for being here.
So it's going to be Adam Wainwright versus Max Scherzer, and that's a reason to be happy. That is a reason to be excited because guess what? Max Scherzer is a better pitcher than Adam Wainwright. However, we know how these one-game doom and gloom go die or something games end up. It so quickly can unfortunately get out of hand, and this is where you start to worry about, let's be real, Dave Roberts' ability to manage in these tough situations. Because let's say Max Scherzer gives up like 3 in the first, and in the second inning he comes out and puts up a blank, but still like loads the bases. And in the third inning, all of a sudden it's going to be dropping like another 2 or 3 runs, and then you're just out of the game. And
why don't you shut up?
This is my job as the old man who has seen more of these games.
Stares deep into the night.
I've stared at Stairs ball flying deep into the night. I've seen too many shots of Clayton Kershaw on bended knee or keeled over as the ball flies deep into the night in these very, very important games. I do have faith in this Dodgers team, though, you bet the money on Max Scherzer over 40-year-old Adam Wainwright, 37-year-old Max Scherzer against 40-year-old Adam Wainwright.
Yeah, since those two are so far apart in age.
I know, that's why I made the change. AJ on the guitar comes in. Pedro Baez warming up in the bullpen. Pain, terror.
Oh man, I have some real bad PTSD from playoffs over these years. It is it's tough being a Dodger fan. I'll tell you that.
So much better though than not like
you could be an Angels
anything.
fan. Oof, good on you. I think Shohei wants out, dude.
No, he was just real mad at that particular bat rack. Or
I think Shohei wants out, Doc.
Cardinals, final note on this. We'll have a lot more of whatever series preview it's going to be next Monday. But the Cardinals would be able to back it up with Jack Flaherty, who's now healthy, I think, and playing. But they also got a couple other old dudes that are curveball pitchers. And I feel, I didn't look up the numbers, but I feel like the Dodgers really struggle against curveball, slower boys.
Not great.
And left-handed at that, but they have John Lester and Jay Happ.
You know what? Hopefully they don't have too many changeups.
And when it's
they're way worse against changeups for some reason.
And when it's a one-game play-in, it's all in. It's all in. So with that, let's all together, kids. We should go back, by the way, because we got a $10 super chat. Where are you at? From Grumpy45 Dino on YouTube. Of course, it's YouTube because that's where we get super chats. Says Dodgers beat the Redbirds 4-2. Wayne Wrong gets the loss. 7-2. 7-2. It will be the Dodgers win in the wild card game. Yeah, we'll do it for now. We'll see what they change. What's your wild card prediction?
I think that's reasonable. I think the way it
7-2?
stacks up, there's a real good chance that matchup does happen. And if that matchup does happen, I do not think Wainwright gets to the Dodgers twice in that span. No. I just don't see a way that they don't adjust to him, don't anticipate everything he's throwing at him, and crush him. Because there's no reason that he should pitch as well as he did against the Dodgers. There's zero reason, especially with the lineup that we have, the firepower we have, the capabilities that we have. Granted, it's not like we're healthier than when we were playing him last time, but we don't have Belly in the lineup, and I think that's good. I think that's a good start. Great. He could be in the lineup by then, by the way. I'm really hoping that's not the case. I think that's a good prediction. They really got to jump on that dude early. They really do. They can't let him get momentum.
And you got Wheels Lux in center now. That's not, let's say by metrics, that's probably a big change. But so far with the eye test, surprisingly not that bad.
No, there's a couple balls that he got to that he should not have gotten to, by the way.
So let's all together, though, like I said, let's set our own kind of playoff roster because I feel like at this point there are a few bodies we know we plainly don't want to see on this Dodgers team. If there's a one-game playoff, a one-game play-in, whatever you want to call it, or even a 5 or 7 game, whatever the hell it is. Again, this is a one and done, so it's a pretty damn important game. So what? There's going to be 2 questions where we're going to go through here. It's like, 1, what should the roster look like to win, and how should things be managed? Because that is a very important question. Like I said, already alluded to earlier, in these games, can Dave Roberts do like he did in 20 and kind of think more in the moment over the legacy? Again, I don't want to see Scherzer still in the 3rd inning, having given up 5 runs because, he's got us here. He's done that before. Doesn't matter. It's one game. He gives up a few runs in the first. You got to change it up. But that's getting a little bit ahead. I'll be angry about that again.
He's always angry.
Winning roster, who's in, who's out. We know all the people that are going to for sure be there.
I will not.
You will not.
Nope.
Around the diamond, you're going to have your starters. You're going to have your brother, Willie Smith. You're going to have Max Muncy. You're going to have Trey Turner. You're going to have Seager. You're going to have Justin Turner at the hot corner. And then you're going to have Pollock, Lux, and Mookie. Hey, that's a good starting 8, right? As they say.
Yeah.
Best that money could buy right now?
Best money could buy.
You betcha. Well, there's some other bodies on there. We're going to have I don't get a chance to play Beatty. He'll be on the roster. Most likely Austin Barnes will be on there in case somebody explodes. And again, this is a one-game playoff. I don't think there's too many question marks so much on the position player side. It's going to be the same. Pujols will be on there. I don't think Cody Bellinger makes a wild card game. Because
if you're
that
not
defense is not going to make enough of a difference.
No, and we already talked about this.
Yeah.
His defense is not good. It's actually not very good considering what he is and the metrics that surround him and how everyone says he's an elite defender, but he's not. He's not an elite defender. Add to that the rib makes it hard for him to throw. I just don't understand how you can justify that right now, especially if this weekend he's saying it makes it hard for him to throw.
Yeah.
It's not going away in a week. When we talked about the fractured rib and how Doc was like, it's not a big issue, I was like, if anybody's cracked a rib before, just cracked. Shit hurts, man. It does not feel good. It's going to affect something, so I just don't see him making that wild card roster. I honestly don't see him making the division series roster still, if we get to that point. And granted, that's a big if at this point.
Yeah, you kind of see where he ends up. If you make it that far, maybe you consider introducing him to the LCS roster. But that's if he's taking some phenomenal BP swings.
I mean, he's got to be hitting like tank jobs.
You're throwing him the highest, hardest cheese you got out of the damn Jags.
Fastballs only. Don't throw that dude any curveballs right now.
I would say the only kind of up in the air thing is Chris Taylor, because he's seemed okay since that second injection into his neck.
Mm-hmm.
He came out, making some crazy defensive plays there in that. Was it the Sunday game? No, was it the Sunday game? Saturday game? Friday game. It was the Friday game in Arizona. CT looked good, but if not, Billy McKinney's still alive, and that's awful to think of him being like one of the guys potentially. Zach McKinstry, I think they very much gave up on him as soon as they found out his eyes were closed while he was swinging, and you can't blame them. But again,
all right, yep, sit down.
For most of the bench, the position players, it makes sense. The pitching side, I mean, you could even carry more bats, let's be real, for a wild card, because why not? You're going to need them more than you're going to need to have, I don't know, Andrew Vasquez or even like a Kershaw. I don't even know if you put Kershaw on that roster. Let's be real, you do, because it's Clayton Kershaw. But if Max Scherzer struggles, I'm not going to Kershaw behind him. I'm going to Julio.
Yeah, obviously you got to. It's tough. Wild card games are tough because you have to think about going all in to win that one game, but you also have to consider that there could possibly be a game behind that too. Yeah. You don't want to screw yourself for the next series right off the bat, so it's always a tough situation. But I think in terms of roster build, I think you're right. Cody Bellinger probably does not make that roster. I think there's some pretty obvious big names that make the roster out of the bullpen that we're not really, talking about. But also, this is something that you had brought up. Is David Price alive? Is he useful? Is he literally just trying to make it to the end of the season at this point? Because he's got to be hurt.
So this is my bold take, my bold prediction, whatever you want to call it, my bold statement of the night. I think, and they've alluded to an elbow thing with DP. I think DP is more hurt than he is letting on, than the team is letting on, as they do often. He's pitching through something, and I feel he's avoiding a surgery right now, and he's just trying to make it through the string to hang them up after the season, maybe. But the numbers have not been good for David Price. The fact that he's going, 7-8 days between outings, not overly great. It's definitely a point of concern. And the stuff hasn't looked all that great. He's walking dudes. He's not missing bats.
The wild thing is, like, it's not so much of a that affects the team roster, him not being on there. It's more of like I just feel for the dude more than anything. Really, I don't think he really changes up the dynamic of the bullpen too much. I don't, he's not necessarily a shutdown lefty against left-handed bats or anything like that. If you're going a lefty on lefty matchup where you need an out, I'm going to go Vestia every time over DP. So, it doesn't hurt in that sense, but it does hurt for the guy. He's a good dude. I like him a lot. I like what he's brought to this team. I like what he's done for the organization just in the short time that he's been here, even though he's only technically played with the team for a year.
Yeah.
So I feel more on
Great
that.
Dude.
But, there's a good chance. I mean, he's old.
There is a good chance that he's old.
So I think you're right. I don't think.
And in a wild card, something went just horribly wrong if he ends up in a wild card game. You're pitching into the 15th inning, but you got to figure you're going to have Kenley Jansen, who, isn't it kind of weird? I shouldn't say anything about it, right? Shh. The doom and gloom person. No, I'm going to avoid talking about it.
Don't say
you got Joe Kelly, you got Corey Knebel. He's been solid. The legend of Evan Phillips, not Evan Williams. Trinan has been a little iffy, but is always a guy you can rely on. And then, Vesia is going to be your dude. But, if DP's not on that roster, would not be surprised. Of course, we'll know a lot more by Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest. Crap, we'll have to do like a pregame that day, wouldn't we?
For the wild card?
Yeah, like at the ballpark.
From the dugout?
Hell yeah.
At shortstop with me.
Oh, God. I really hope it's like an early game for some reason. But, again, I would put our guys up against them Cardinal boys any day because we could potentially have Max Scherzer backed by maybe 20-game winner Julio Urias.
L.A.
all
on
day.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
It's probably like a 6:30 game or something like that.
No, because they always go with the 5 o'clock.
It's the slot before.
Yeah.
That might be the slot before for the other game, though.
No, that's only that.
There's only one that game?
AL wildcards on the Tuesday, NL wildcards on the Wednesday.
Could be a 5 o'clock slot because then it reaches
be.
both Eastern and Western. It will be 5 o'clock spot.
It will
You're
be.
right. Yep.
And I'm rounding it out, not to be left out. We already talked about him on this game on this show, but George bringing it up. Where's Bickford? Oh, he's in there. My boy Phillip is on that damn roster. I tells you what. The other hot takes, I guess, sort of hot take question of the day I have for you.
Oh boy.
So if we got accused of being doom and gloom earlier, this one's gonna be great for you fans, and this is just prognostication. I think I don't know. So children, cover your eyes. We're about to prognosticate all over the place. And we are not saying it's gonna happen. And I do not think it's going to happen myself. But let's say if the Dodgers somehow lose that wild card game, not will there, because there will be. How bad will the overreaction be? And could Dave Roberts potentially be fired?
Don't think Doc gets fired.
Yeah.
I think that there will be more fans than ever calling for that, which is, it is what it is. Fans are always going to do that. I'm never going to tell you how to fan, so you keep fanning the way you want to fan, even if the way you fan sucks. So I'll never judge you for that. I'll judge you.
What about the
hitting coaches get fired?
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance Rob and Mr. Brandt
think
get the boot
with and Aaron Bates.
No.
Or
Aaron's staying around.
okay, yeah, or just move down, rotate.
Right.
As good as the offense quote has been, ranks high up there on most offensive metrics and statistics.
Mm-hmm.
On the stats charts, as they say, have no numbers, so I'm just saying words. Somebody has to pay for their crimes, one. But two, very, very inconsistent offense all season, and that's something to be concerned about.
I think RVC and Brandt have
RBS.
been slow. RBS have been slow to adjust to a changing game and a changing approach from pitchers. The batters changed their game. They changed their approach. They made it about launch angle. They made it about getting the ball up in the air, and they adjusted. And then pitchers adjusted to that, and it's been made very clear. And some of the best hitters in the game right now have once again adjusted back in a way that they can attack pitchers better. It's not necessarily about always getting the ball up in the air now, and those guys are getting better. The Dodgers have been slow to do that. You look at a guy like Trey Turner, that's a good example of a guy who has now adjusted his game back to where it should be, and he's taking the balls as they come. Great two-strike hitter, things like that. The Dodgers haven't quite caught up to that yet, and they're usually ahead of the curve and things like that. So this is why it's more noticeable. This is why we're kind of being like, what the hell's going on? Why is it so inconsistent? Why do they score 4 runs in the first inning and go dead silent for the rest of the game? Pitchers are adjusting. They know what to do with the Dodgers now. They know their offensive approach. They know what they're going to do and what they're going to attack and what they're going to be sitting on. Things have changed dramatically for pitchers across Major League Baseball. Rob and Brandt have not.
And don't forget, that sticky stuff is gone, and that ball doesn't stay as high as it used to. But you also got to put something on the team for players like Cody, not adjusting until the last minute.
Cody is enough to justify those dudes losing their jobs, and that sucks. I mean, a lot of it depends on players' performance for those guys. A lot of it. You could teach them everything in the world. You can give them all the best information, all the best scouting reports, all the information they could ever need to succeed. But if they don't, it's going to fall on you a lot of times. And on this particular instance, there's a good chance that it falls on those two.
Another note I really want to point out, because it's not something that's been talked about enough. Chris Taylor's been pretty bad in the second half, at the same time kind of good, but also really bad. Second half, let's say since August, I got the numbers here. Since August 1st, CT3, 186 batting average, but 56 strikeouts in 41 games on the season. He's at 164 strikeouts, and of late, it feels like he's going up there and just whiffing at everything. He had that point in like the early middle-ish of the season where he was just hitting everything, crushing, tanking. Now, no. And I don't think he deserves starts in any postseason games, to be honest, at this point. But there's a little thing I wanted to throw out there. Take your time to look at the numbers. Do your research, as they say a lot these days, on Chris Taylor. And don't just come at it with the defense of the man who's done a lot for this team. Yeah, I love Chris Taylor. But, if you're hitting 186 over 41 games, EAD.
Do your own research on Chris Taylor. Find out if he's best for your body or not. It is what it is.
And there you go.
Thank you.
Doubling back here to the comments a little while ago, Bob Nightingale in the flesh and on the internet. $4.99 super chat. Thank you. He says, clear my name, Brooke, please. You want to clear Bob Nightingale's name?
Bob, you've been cleared.
It's that simple.
Governor's pardon.
You pay Brooke. He will do whatever you want.
I'll forgive you of all crimes.
Luis Silva says, time to go re-up on some blood pressure medication. October baseball. Here we come. Oh boy. All of me. I'd say all of me wants the team to keep playing deep into the postseason because I love the pain. It's so much fun. But man,
the best part about being a Saints fan is
that a thing?
The best part about being a Saints fan is that you can enjoy the playoffs because they're not going to be in it, and you get to watch all the other good teams, and you're like, "This is good football. I like good football. Pass the wings, etc."
Reasonable.
Don't have to stress, I missed that a little bit.
Reasonable. Craig Osterberg on YouTube says hitting and defense coaches fired. Defense has been iffy at different times. I get that. I understand that. I.E. Doyer on the YouTube says apparently the hitting coaches in Oklahoma are better. Your boy Luke Rayleigh, didn't he come close to winning a batting crown in OKC or something?
Oh my gosh. Did you laugh when he first got the call up again? Were you like, somewhere Brooke is punching air?
I had laughed that he got the call up in the start. Meanwhile, Matt Beatty's just doing the Vincent Vega thing where he walks in the room. I feel so bad for Matt.
They sent him to get coffee. Matt, go get coffee now! And he's like, okay, Dave.
And then instead, no, we want Pujols to go do it instead. He can carry more
Never
stuff.
Mind. You don't even have a car.
Anyways,
stay here.
Shout out poor Matt Beatty. Look good as Mr. Clean, though. Pulled it off.
It's good Halloween costumes. We should have done a Halloween costume breakdown segment. That's what we didn't do. That would have been fun.
We got time.
What was your favorite costume? Possum?
Possum's pretty damn good.
Yep.
But that's you got to know baseball.
Yeah. Who doesn't know baseball?
I mean, I wasn't.
It is a little meta.
Wasn't a big, yeah. I wasn't a big guy. I wasn't big on top of the Sons of Velocity, Sons of Anarchy.
I didn't really care for that. I thought it was pretty weak.
Okay, so the dudes who have a little bit of money bought fancy costumes. Cool, good on you guys. Basketball was awesome.
Basketball was a good one.
Seeing that.
High quality.
JT tried a little hard this year.
A little bit.
Yeah, I think he needed Kike.
Yep.
So they can be the P Cup guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
What about you? Who's your guy? I don't know if I picked anybody I really liked.
Joe
Kelly's the Grinch. Why
not? Did you have any thoughts about Tony Gonsolin being left out of the starting rotation costume?
Poor Tony.
Because I
think he just really wanted to be in the Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, but he also got paired up with the trainers and the strength and conditioning coaches and stuff.
He did spend a lot of his time this season with them.
That's true. That's a good point. He's he went up to the guys in the starting rotation and they're like, "Who is that?"
Oh, sorry, we only have so many motorcycles.
Oh, sorry, we only have 4 costumes. So you're the odd man out here. So I thought that was pretty funny. Joe Kelly's Grinch costume. I don't understand that quite. 100%.
I think it's
just him.
That's just the IE, baby.
We don't do that in the IE.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the crazy.
The crazy. That makes sense for sure.
That's why he had to do it there because he wasn't in IE.
I thought Possums was pretty good. I thought the Mookie and Gavin, that was pretty solid. The White Man Can't Jump, that was pretty solid. A lot of people didn't understand that reference. No. They were like, why did he also dress up like Fresh Prince?
Yeah,
and I was like, that's not what's happening
that's
here, guys.
That's because people are special.
It's like you haven't seen a good movie. Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. And also the fact that they're buddies. I always forget that Mookie and Gavin are buddies.
Well, yeah, they're big time switch from outfield or infield to outfield buddies.
And they watch basketball together.
Yeah.
So good for them. Will Smith was pretty good. It was, a little too on the nose.
I feel like Willie's got to pick a lane here.
Yeah, because he wants to be that, and then
he hates the
doesn't.
Will Smith questions. He hates the connective tissue with that. He was forced to change his handle to Fresh Prince of LAD, and then changed it back to William Smith or whatever the hell it is. But then he's dressing up as a Fresh Prince. Pick a lane, Dilliam.
Albert's is pretty cool. He was just dressed up as his
for the freaking swap meet.
Quinceañera.
He was ready to go over the swap
bro.
meet. Sorry, the swap meet.
Yeah, swap meet.
Yeah. But that was it. I wish we would have had another Dustin May, because I feel like D May is going to be that guy every year.
IE Doyer points out that Tony set the bar too high as Lieutenant Dan. He'll never peak. He'll never get past that. He needed Rostifer.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Ross made a good Forrest Gump.
Who would have thought, like we love Ross. Who would have thought just such a basic white dude would have been so good? White people really do like Halloween, though, huh?
Yeah, we get to pretend to be something else. We don't want to be us.
Reasonable.
Yeah. I think about being Freddie Mercury this year. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that.
We were talking about this earlier.
We were talking about that earlier. But this is the first Halloween that I've had a mustache, so, winning mustache.
I don't think it's going to last.
Having a mustache?
Yeah, I think you're going to cut it off.
No, I might keep this for longer than my mullet. I don't think I can have a mullet as Freddie Mercury, though. I could slick it back. It hides.
This is where we're at, gang.
This has been Halloween Talk with Brooke and Clint.
Back to the game. Back to stuff. Mars McCready asked, "Are you guys going to the game tomorrow?" I am. I will be going there. I'll get my Julio Urias bobblehead. Pretty excited to get that.
It'll be up there later.
So you always got to get two, because I get one, and then I take the one from the wife to do that. The last time, we took your wife's and put it up here. This time I'm going to take mine. Or wait,
did we get one?
Yeah, it's somewhere. I think it's somewhere.
Tommy.
Oh, wait.
Tommy?
Was it Tommy? Tommy! There it was. That was the bobblehead.
That's when he sang My Way.
I couldn't. We should just end the show on us singing My Way now. All right.
Now.
Moving on. Oh, I'm looking for more.
The end is near.
Brooke the Mexican is in here. Like, that's a solid hashtag. Jose Rod's going to be Stitch. Got the onesie. Oh, also, Stitch. I really thought Bruisdar could have been better than that one random character from Moana.
I was like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
Also, Cody's costume was definitely a... Cody, did you get your Halloween costume? And he said, it's Halloween today. That's exactly what happened, and I guarantee you. And they're like, somebody go get him just an easy thing that he can put on real quick. And they're like, do you have an actual shirt? And he's like, no, tank top. And they were like, all right, whatever, just put it on. Did you see his baby mama comment on his post?
No.
Because he's wearing the wife beater.
Oh, God.
She said, all right, Mr. Wife Beater can do this, but can't answer my text or whatever.
Oh, you got to love the internet.
Baby Jesus.
I think somebody asked us or brought up, they tweeted at us, like they think whenever we're bullshitting with each other on the internet, like on Twitter, that we're just sitting next to each other. No. Usually when we're in here, we're just dead silent.
I don't like him.
Yeah.
It's my job to like him.
Yeah, he gets paid to like me. All right. Before we end it, I feel like I've said all right and, tried to change the segment a few times here. But things become things. Having some fun. Speed is sick. Final series preview. It's going to be presented by our friends at Vintage Brand. Yes, guys, Vintage Brand has over 10,000 unique logos of your favorite professional sports team. They also got your Dodgers. They also got the Brooklyn Dodgers, so that's cool. We have their stuff. We use their stuff. We like their stuff, and you can too. If you sign up at vintagebrand.com/site/subscribe, you can save 40% off on your first order. And right now, I think through the week, they have a 30% off on fall. Use the promo code FALL30, all one word, FALL30. Save 30% on your order at vintagebrand.com. Thank you. Dodgers have 3 more games against the San Diego Padres, and then 3 more against the Milwaukee Brewers, all at Dodger Stadium. The Padres, in case you forgot, are eliminated from postseason contention, but, they're going to be laying it all out on the line to beat the Dodgers because that's all they cared about. Decent enough matchups, I would say.
A bunch of TBDs. Yeah.
I mean, on our side.
We get Buehler and Darvish, which, it's good. Darvish has kind of sucked since ever he's been exposed as a cheater, so that's good.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to say. I like you, Darvish, a lot, by the way. Great dude, great human. You read a lot of really good stories about him. Dodgers fans did him absolutely dirty. He got cheated out of a World Series, so I'm very sorry. I didn't mean that. That's I would like you to lose very badly, though.
Yes.
Wednesday, what's today? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You
Happy
get Scherzer
days.
going again, right?
Yeah.
Which lines him up for obviously
Wild card.
Necessarily wild card start going against TBD. Could be anybody at this point because they're out of contention and they could just throw whoever the hell they want out there at this point. But then Thursday, you got Gonsolin going.
Boy, Tony.
I really hope he has a good start. I'll be at that game.
There's going to be a lot of people at that game because that's ring night number 2. They're giving away them fake World Series rings. It's not a fake World Series. It's a fake ring from the World Series.
I'm really, really glad that they lined it up that way because then it's Tony pitching at a very important night.
It's all right, Anthony. I got faith in him, man. You know, he started an important game. All right.
Well, says you.
Didn't say he started them and finished well. I just said he started
them, yeah. But then you go on after that. You got the Brew Crew, and they've already wrapped up the division. So, like I said 2 weeks ago, they should, because they're not playing for the best record in baseball. They're not playing for the top seed or anything like that at this point. They're not really playing for home field advantage or anything anymore.
Nope.
They should not be playing their regulars. They should not. Will they?
Yes.
I don't know. I never know what's going to happen whenever teams come down to this like last week of the year. It's always odd what teams choose to do. Sometimes teams will start all their regulars for 4 innings at a time and then take them out halfway through the game. That tends to happen sometimes. Sometimes they don't play them at all. Sometimes the starting pitchers get their last start off completely, which they should do with their top 2 guys. However, they probably won't.
No.
Because that's just our luck.
Well, I feel like Craig Counsell is a man of respect and honor, and he loves the review system.
Craig Counsell?
Uh-huh.
Respect?
Yeah.
Honor?
Huh.
Just like Ryan Braun.
And I don't think he would completely punt a final series, especially knowing that there could potentially, knock on table, be playoff implications involved in said final series. So you're not going to get, a complete game shutout, even if there's one, in effect. You're not going to get one of those out of Corbin Burns, but dude's pitching for a Cy Young, and every inning's going to count for him.
Logically, couldn't they just not start him, though?
No, because all those innings are going to count. They would probably rather him try to get more innings.
But six.
Those are all
what is 6 or 7
stats.
more innings going to do for a Cy Young candidacy? Which is
for
already,
the old ass people that vote on those.
That's true. They got a lot of.
They care about wins. Think of how many. All right, Julio's been great.
Julio's gonna get.
Does not deserve to be the Cy Young.
Julio is going to get Cy Young votes for sure
because he's going to be a 19 or 20 game winner.
Terrible model. Idiots.
It's going to go based on innings.
Bloggers vote. We're much better at this.
Based on strikeouts. Yeah, right. And that's this way. And based on ERA, and it'll be partially influenced based on wins. But I think you will see a solid 5 or 6 out of Corbin. Woodruff will probably be like a 3 or 4 guy. We've seen that with Kershaw in the past. He comes out, he starts. He got his 300 strikeout that one game, and then basically walked. The bats will be in there for the most part because this isn't a 40-man roster era anymore. You have 28 dudes, so you can't just play or not play everybody or anybody. They're going to try. They're not going to go whole hog and try to win it because, like you said, they're not playing for anything. But they're not going to just bend over like the Padres and the Rockies have done for the Giants.
Is Mad Bum starting against the Giants this week?
No idea. I know he's giving out tickets to Rocky. What are they called? Diamondbacks fans or something?
So I had the thought. I was like, if Mad Bum gets a start against the Giants, he does get the Thursday start against the Giants. That's one to keep an eye on, guys. I don't want to. I think Mad Bum's a man of decency, and he likes to. He would never throw a game.
No,
he would never throw.
Not my Mason Saunders.
However, watch that game. Watch it.
Friday night, Kershaw goes against TBD, probably one of their aces over there with Milwaukee. Julio Urias goes for his 20th win of the season on Saturday against TBD as well. And Walker Buehler rounds out the season on Sunday. So,
what are the odds that if the division is not locked up by then, that Walker actually throws on Sunday? Because I'm putting him at 0. If they fall out of division contention by Sunday, there's no chance that Walker pitches on Sunday. 0% chance.
Because the next
Andre Jackson gets the start. There's no way.
More than likely.
Yeah.
More than likely.
No way.
I would agree with that one. But Dave said he's gonna throw out the same guys. And And
The dude needs a.
that would be Sunday.
In the words of Dave,
NLDS game
blow.
1. NLDS game 1 would be on what? I think the Thursday.
the Thursday
probably?
following the wild card game.
Yeah. See, MLB postseason
I think it's the Friday following the wild
schedule.
card.
Oh yeah, because I think it's going to go AL then NL, or
And
they
then
might
AL,
play
no.
those 2 of the games on the same thing. This is why we need somebody just like waiting here for us. It'll be
Producer
Friday.
T.
It'll be Friday. So yeah, he could start
He could
Sunday
start
and
game
be
1.
on regular rest there. But
But just give him the day off. Let him throw a bullpen session that day. That's what I would do if I was the president.
a baseball operation.
When I run for president, I will not let Walker pitch in a meaningless game. How about that?
With all that, I mean, here's the final. We saved the probably the biggest part of our show for the final minutes here. There is still a chance, there is still a path to a division title. The Dodgers are only 2 games back. It is 2 games back, right?
Yep.
Okay, I don't do all that good at the numbers. So what needs to go right this week for the Dodgers? Well, you play 6 games. The Giants play 6 games. You probably got to win and then hope that a pair of ass teams can, do something, can do anything to help.
Look at it this way. The Dodgers could very well take 6 of 6 this week. Could very well. I mean, there's obviously, you never really know because they've just been so weird. But they very well could take 6 of 6 this week, and all you need is 1 win from 2 bad teams during the week. The Diamondbacks can absolutely beat the Giants in a 1-game series, depending on who they're facing, obviously. And the Padres, they're the Padres. They're not a bad team. They have played poorly.
My concern is we were talked about it at different points. Is again the complete opposite of what I say of Craig Counsell and his nobleness and his respect for the game. I don't think the Padres have that. I don't think in that series they would try.
They don't even show up on Sunday.
No, you're going to see Manny Machado bunting.
Yeah, well, you might.
Because he's been called bunt a lot. Just change that first letter.
Punt.
Yes, because he likes to punt series. Anyways. San Francisco plays 3 against Arizona. All of these are at Oracle Park, and then 3 against San Diego. I mean, Arizona's bad. They're going to try just because it's the end of the season, but they're bad. San Diego, I really do see them just kind of rolling over out of spite. But the big news, the important thing, Brandon Bell has died of a broken finger. His finger togetherness died. He's alive. He's doing well. But and they lost Darren Ruff, who has played some left field for them, but he's also...
Would you like an encouraging stat to keep you going?
But he's been a good slugger. One encouraging stat, and then we're out.
The Diamondbacks have only won 2 games against the Giants this year. So they're due. I think they're 2-14 against the Giants this year. All right, well, wild card game, boys.
This has been the thing, and this is where I Dave was saying it a few times, and I always got frustrated because he was inaccurate. But he kept saying we're in control of our destiny. The Dodgers have said that a few times. Some players have said we're in control of our own destiny. No, you weren't, and you are not at that point.
Okay, but the Padres are 7-9. That's much better.
Yeah. That was when they were trying.
They're also playing for nothing right now.
They're playing for nothing.
But again, Jay Stingler might be playing for his job. He might be playing to win 6 games this week.
Those 3 wins are going to make a difference.
Against the Dodgers. Yeah.
Just saying.
They're going to try to beat the Dodgers. Watch. They're going to end up taking 1 from the Dodgers and just screwing us. Probably the Gonsolin game.
I feel like we should flip a coin. All right, we'll be back here on Monday.
I'll do Siri. Ready?
I don't know if we even need a coin.
Flip a coin.
Okay.
Heads we win the division. Tails we lose the division.
No. Tails never fails. Tails, the Dodgers win the division. Go Siri.
Siri, flip a coin.
This is cutting edge stuff right here. Did it work?
1 sec. Siri, you're taking too long.
Siri, we're live.
Tails! It's Tails! We won the division! Hit the button!
Come on. Won the division.
I can't wait to cut this clip after we win the division this week.
Siri pulled it off. You know what? If the Dodgers win it, I'll consider an iPhone to be
I should buy another one.
I thought you already did.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I did. It's coming at some point in this year.
How many cameras does it have?
The 3.
No,
it's got like
it also has another one on the front.
It's got like, what's that called? The cinema mode. So I can shoot videos of you intimately. in our private office.
Well, guys, we might have a lot of off-season. A lot more than we're used to, so we got to come up with some content. But that's about it. Our Netflix and Chill weekly update. We were good, and then we sucked last week, and now we have to play potentially 3 games next Wednesday instead of 2.
But potentially only 1.
But probably maybe only 1, because I got no faith sometimes. At any rate, thanks for stopping by. You guys can find us on the internet at DodgersNation.com. Subscribe to Blue Heaven. We are on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Player FM. So many more spots where things live. We live there. Download the Dodgers Nation fan app. There's some cool new stuff. We're giving away prizes in like pick 'em prediction games. So that's pretty cool. Go do that. And then I keep lying, saying Gary's going to come back, but Gary, I don't think Gary ever wants to come back. He's real rude like that. But if enough people download it, he'll have no choice but to do that. And while you're on the internet, subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. It's the best way to watch us and participate because Periscope is dead.
Rest in peace. IE Doyer says Robot God is on our side.
Robot
Siri,
God.
appreciate you, Robot God. Guys,
Is that Bender?
I'm Matt Brookme3. This is at RealFRG. We're on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate you. We're at Dodgers Nation on Twitter, at Dodgers Nation on Instagram. Follow along with us all, postseason. We'll be doing stuff. We'll be here. We'll be sad. We'll be sweaty. We're usually pretty sweaty. It's very hot in here. That's why he got naked. Thank you guys for being with us. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your comments. If you're going to the game this week, tomorrow, say hi to Clint. He'll be out standing in the top outfield, in the outfield area, standing with a beer. And if you bring a beer, he'll say hi.
No, I'll be sitting there because I bought the sitting seats.
He'll be sitting in the outfield up high. Bye.
Bye.